Hey, it's Kimberlee and welcome back to my channel. I make videos on all things lifestyle on a budget. Specifically today, we're doing an updated video on the housing lottery system here in New York City. So many people watched my initial video when I was talking about a specific apartment building that had put me on like the next short list, or just kind of notified me that I had a specific log number, and I wanted to give an update on that. But then that video has also been receiving so many questions and all of that, so I thought I would do an update. I thought I'd provide a little bit more info, and then I'm also going to reveal all of my log numbers for every housing submission that I've done for the new website. So as I previously mentioned in the other video, there used to be 2 websites. There's now 1. As always, the information I'm going to be providing is from what I know so far and what I've personally experienced so far. I really appreciate it in the previous video. Those of you that have been further along and felt comfortable sharing that information in the comments did so, and allowed for even more conversation to continue. Same goes for this video as well. If you are having a different experience, or again, if you've made it further along than I have and you're comfortable sharing that experience, comment down below because it can help the community. There are so many people that are applying for the housing lottery. It seems like a giant mystery on the outside, and it can only help to show the process as well. There's so much information on the website. I implore everyone to just take a moment, hop on the website and just read through the information. There's also videos as well telling you how you can set yourself up. So skipping ahead really quickly, once you do get an email about an eligibility review or something like that, you can choose between having a credit check or providing a rental history within the last 12 months that you are, you're paying your rent on time, etc. So if you have like a not so great rental history, but you have a really good credit score, great. If you have a not so great credit score, but you are always paying your rent on time, you can choose between the 2 for the eligibility. And very specifically, the website says that you will not be rejected if your credit score, for example, is really low. The only thing that's gonna disqualify you, hear me clearly, is $5,000 debt in collections, or if you filed for bankruptcy within the last 12 months. And then they encourage you to have that first month's rent and that security saved up. So that's just right on like the first page, which is really helpful to just know what you're getting into. Now the FAQs go super deep, which is great. In my previous video, there were a lot of questions about whose income goes on there, how many people, etc. Like how do you have to add everything up? That is all in the FAQ. So I again encourage you to go and take a look at that. It's pretty thorough. The reason why I haven't been able to respond for comments about multiple people and adding things up is that I'm only applying for myself. So I only know that process. What I noticed with the FAQ recently, which was really helpful, is that the question is, once I submit my application, can I make a change? The changes will show up on any of your applications where your lottery log number has not yet been reached. Also, it's important, if your household summary is flagged as incomplete, your application may not be selected for processing or issued a log number. My income is vastly different, unfortunately, from last year to this year. This year is an absolute dud because of the strike and everything that's been going on, unfortunately. So I had to log back on, and I was like, man, all those ones that I submitted, I had a different income. Like, now what? I had to update what I think my income is going to be and adjust it. So running it back again, the places that I may have applied to in the past that had a certain income requirement, if I go in and change that amount and say it no longer fits within the brackets, because the brackets are sometimes brackets are always very specific. You'll fall out of it by being like $1,000 over or under or something like that. So maybe now that my income has changed, the ones that I previously applied to, if my log number eventually does get reached, they'll be like, oh, you don't qualify anymore because now you're making less. Or it would be the opposite for someone that was making more. The lower ones you were reaching out to based on your salary, now that your salary is increased, you're no longer eligible. The good thing is that you do have enough time. So I like knowing that if I haven't heard anything yet, I can still go in and switch things around. You applied, the deadline passes. It says everyone is pretty much assigned a log number like at random. It doesn't matter if you were the first to sign up or you sign up on the last day. Your log number is absolutely random. No one controls it. It just is what it is. The next thing in that process is, as you have the log numbers, the marketing agent is the person that's going to go through and view all the applications. But first, before they do that, they set aside certain people or set aside certain preferences. Reading off the website, it'll be 5% who have a mobility disability, 2% on vision and hearing. I've seen other things where there's a certain percentage of City of New York workers. So the marketing person has viewed the applications, decided who they want, etc. Then they start going through the interview processes, and then you have all your documentation, which again, everything is lined up on the website to tell you what you need. It's a lot of information. Now that I've kind of like brushed through that, I'm on here to just represent the reality check. I love thinking that if you need affordable housing, you're gonna apply and you're gonna get it. And I believe that's out there for someone, but I really am passionate about showing the other side and showing that there are people in waiting and in waiting for years. And sometimes it isn't like ABC. Whatever's meant to be is gonna work out, but it's not so straightforward, and I am that representation. So my update on that apartment where I got the email a year ago, actually, nothing happened. I applied on September 4th, 2021. I received that email, I think November 30th or so of 2022. I see on here that it said it was updated October 29th, and it says all the units have been filled, and my application was not reached for processing. So that means we never made it further than where I was. And I don't know, it sounds kind of like this is the end of the journey, especially because this has been going on since 2021. But I think this is the perfect time for me to run down the list of my log numbers so that we kind of understand where I am in the process. I also want to mention too, some of these are wait lists, and so that's the goal too, is to get an opportunity to be on a wait list so that when someone does move out, but not all the buildings do that. So anyway, let's get into the log numbers. Okay, so I just went through and listed all my log numbers, and then I realized like, I don't think there's anything attached to it, but just in case there is, I'm just gonna say in what realm the number is. So if it was 5431, I'm just gonna say my log number's in the 5,000s. I just realized now that I'm like, can this in any way like be like private information? I'm not sure, but anyway, I'm just gonna refilm the whole thing. Very first one that I applied to on this website was for Greenpoint, Brooklyn. My log number was in the 700s, which is good. I ended up going back in and taking my application out, I think because I realized I didn't want to actually live there. But this was also back in 2020, so I don't have any memory of really what went on. When you do that, you'll end up getting like an automatic rejection. So I have a couple rejections like on my profile. The next one is Central Harlem. My number is in the 5,000s, but there are no units remaining. So this is the same thing where it's kind of the end of the line. They're not doing anything further, and they're like, your application was never reached. So they never got into the 5,000s for log numbers. This first page or so is from 2020, so I can assume that we're done. Like, it's over and done with. Another one is in Bushwick and Williamsburg. My log number is in the 18,000s. So obviously this was a popular building. There's no units remaining, so that's the end of that. Here's another one that I got rejected. It was for East New York and New Lots. I was in the 600s, and I wrote no longer interested, because you can choose a reason why you don't want to be, you want your application taken out, so then you just get rejected. But my choice was no longer interested. What I want to say real quick though about you noticing the pattern of these lower numbers. So as you're noticing, these numbers are super low, meaning I had a really good chance. That's because these are further out and not in the areas that maybe most people want to live. I think that that's great for people that already live out there. Say you grew up in East New York or New Lots or whatever, or say you work from home and it doesn't actually matter. Like, my world kind of surrounds Manhattan, so that's my focus, and obviously it's going to be harder for me to find a place because there's that much more competition. But if you don't have a preference, you should go for these ones. There are so many currently right now in the Bronx, and I don't want to live up there, but like, I don't know, somebody out there let me know. I feel like if you apply, it could be that easy, but I don't want to say and be wrong, but I feel like those numbers are going to be vastly different than the ones for like that Williamsburg one or Queens or something like that, or any of the ones in Manhattan. So Northwest Queens, no units remaining. My log number was in the 26,000s. Oh my gosh, too funny. One for the city, so Chelsea and Clinton, my log number is in the 19,000s. It's just on applied, so that means that I have an opportunity. I will say, just getting the details real quick, I applied in 2021, so that was 2 years ago, and there hasn't been any updates on here. I don't know, it makes me wonder, like, is their website updated? Comment down below if you'd want to see something like that, where I try to find the information and ask them, like, through the building, like, hey, are there any units? Because I'm not necessarily hearing anything on this level. I'd be willing to be rejected via email. I'm fine with that. So let me know if you want to see like what that process would be like. I'm just gonna wing it and assume that I would either contact the building, try to go to the main website or something like that. Another place in Upper West Side, there's no units remaining, so this is the end of the road, but my log number was in the 9,000s. Chelsea and Clinton area, my number is in the 29,000s and there are no units remaining, so that is the end of that. Another place is in Harlem, my log number is 41,000 and it's just considered applied, so maybe something can come from it, maybe not though, because it's been almost 2 years. I mentioned the 7,000 one already. Good riddance, I guess. Here's another one where I applied and have no updated information. This is in Greenwich Village and Soho area. My log number is in the 3,000s, which I think is good, but I also applied in 2021 and haven't heard anything since, so I don't know. Greenwich Village in Soho, another one over there. Log number is in the 27,000s. East Harlem, no units remaining, so this is the end of the road in my eyes. My log number was in the 32,000s. So, and I don't know what the lowest number is. I don't know what the highest number is. I don't know if that first person is 1. I've personally never seen a log number out of the hundreds. If you have, comment it down below. If someone's like, oh, I had a log number of 12, like, let me know, because I don't know where it starts. Northwest Queens, application was submitted. I'm in the 1,000s, right? That's pretty good too. Nothing to say about it though. I applied last year and haven't heard from them since. Another one in Manhattan, just up on lottery, application was submitted and my log number is in the 5,000s. These are the more recent ones, so I think like from maybe 2022 or so. I did one for a wait list in Stuyvesant Town. My log number is in the 4,000s. Wait list obviously means that all the units are literally filled, but this building has been up for like 2 years now, so I think that they're just up on having an actual wait list, but I'm not sure where in the process they are. But in that wait list, I'm in the 4,000s. West Queens, my log number is in the 11,000s. I've just applied. There's no information further than that, so I don't know anything past that. Northwest Queens, log number in the 14,000s. I submitted last August and haven't heard anything since. Chelsea and Clinton area, again, 45,000s. That is where my log number is. There's no updated information other than the fact that I have applied. Chelsea and Clinton again, you can see there's a pattern. There's a lot going up there, I guess, over in the Chelsea and Clinton area. I'm in the 14,000s for this one. No information. Lower Manhattan, a wait list. My log number is in the 66,000s. So we've got a good shot there. I applied this year. So I applied on January 2nd, trying to start the year off right. We love it. Haven't heard anything since. Gramercy Park area, wait list, 42,000s. Haven't heard anything. I know that was recently. Yeah, this is all this year. Chelsea Clinton area again, regular list. Application log number is in the 78,000s. Manhattan, 73,000s. And most recently a waiting list. I must have applied. Let's actually see. When did I apply? I have not received a log number yet. This I applied for in September. So here's an example of not receiving a log number yet. Oh, they have a lot. Okay, so this is a good example of a lot of units. They have so many. Wow, this must be a really big building. I feel like they're filling the whole building, and some are at 60% AMI, others are up to 120. This is not an area that I would want to live in, but it is in the city, and beggars can't be choosers, roughly. I would make it work. I will update y'all when I do have a lottery number, because I think that'd be really interesting to know. But like we said, or like they said, it's at random. So the ones that I mentioned where it said no units remaining, those are considered completed. I guess that's my sign that it's a no-go. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these are considered completed. I can put these to rest. I guess the experience is done. It's time to move on. 16 of them are pending. I have no in process and I have no action required. So that's why most of my videos, you're not gonna hear anything past what I've mentioned, because I haven't experienced it yet. I am so lucky that I get to share that with y'all. We get to be part of the waiting game together. I thought that this would be helpful so that maybe people could understand a little bit more of how the process is not for someone that can just make it right through or has gone to look at places, but just a little reality check of the one of many that are kind of just hanging out and it's a waiting game. While it might be delulu of me to be focusing specific on area, and it's like, girl, if you could just lower your rent, just lower it and get the out of there. But I'll take a little delulu for a bit. If you have any questions, let's put them in the comments down below, but also let's leave space for maybe I won't have the answer, but someone else will. But definitely check out the website and let me know if there is anything else within the scope of information that I know that you want to see a video on. So I feel like the log numbers were super helpful. Again, it's at random though, and I don't know the start or finish of it, but I'd like to think that the hundreds is the lowest, I'm guessing. So that is my video. Thanks for watching. Happy house hunting. Let's get that affordable rent. I send the good vibes to you so that you may live in the space that has you shining bright. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.